I'm Kiran Maypi Nagwan. Let us go through with the second session of paper 5 in the morphology classes, that is the root modifications. So what are the functions of normal root? As we earlier discussed about the general introduction of angiospermic plant, where the dicots and monocots that are containing the taproot system or adventitious root system, and these root systems which are meant for absorption of minerals and water and then giving the fixation to the plant. Apart from these normal functions, in roots some changes are taking place to perform a special function, and in such cases we can consider them as the root modifications. Are you ever seen the roots that are present above the ground? Think. Okay, let me go through with this root modifications. Several roots we can observe in such above the ground region, which are named as the root modifications. And let me go through with the normal root system as we discussed earlier, the taproot system and the adventitious root system. The differences are taproot that contains main taproot at the center from where the lateral, secondary and tertiary roots are formed. But the adventitious root system formed from the base of the stem, that provided with several similar sized roots that are going to produce afterwards the lateral and secondary and tertiary roots. These root modifications which are meant for different functions. Let us go through with the one by one aspect. The modifications which are meant for storage in the sense roots that are going to store food inside so that they want to use for the future purpose. How? If these roots are separated from the plant and kept in the soil, they are able to sprout out into a new plant. That means they help in the vegetative propagation. So such a type of roots are known as storage roots, and they may be the tap roots that are modified. They may be the adventitious roots that are going to modify. In the case of taproot modification, based on the shape of the root, we can divide it into three types. The fusiform root, where the root that is two upper region and the lower region. Upper means just beneath the stem. Whatever the structure is present, root portion, that and the tip portion of the root, both are tapering ends. The middle portion is swollen. Such a type of spindle shaped roots are known as fusiform roots. Example, radish. The second type of roots, like that of in carrot, just beneath the stem, the root is broader and slowly it is tapers towards the tip region. And such a type of roots are known as conical roots, which are triangular in nature. Are you familiar about this? Radish juice that stops the germination of pollen grains. That is first observed by the Harvard University researchers. If it stops the pollen germination, maize stops the fungal spore formation. Please go through with the research. Okay, and secondly, the conical root, where the carrot, which is orange in color and usually provided with beta carotene. As you familiar about the beta carotene, that is the two molecules of vitamin A, that is why it is helpful in the better vision. And the third type of root, which is known as napiform root, which is looking like spherical one. It is spherical because just beneath the stem region, whatever the root that starts the storage, which is very much broader and suddenly tapers into a small tapering structure. So that is why it is known as napiform root. Example is beetroot. And in some cases, like that of the adventitious roots, each and every adventitious root is going to store the food, and such a type of roots are known as fasciculated roots. Example, asparagus. In Sanskrit, it's also known as shatamoli, and usually it is used for the increasing lactation in the mothers or the cows. The next important function of root modifications are the absorption of water. Normal root function is absorption of water, but that absorption is from soil. But here, the absorption of water from the atmosphere. Imagine if we have the bags that are provided with substance that is similar to that of these epiphytes, and just we can carry that bag which is provided with this velamen, and after some time it is going to absorb the water and accumulates inside, and we can get pure water for the drinking purpose. How fantastic it is, isn't it? Think about this. Okay, so in this epiphytes, what happens? A special type of roots that are formed looking like hanging roots, light greenish in color, whitish in color, and these are provided with spongy tissue towards their tip region, peripheral region, and this spongy tissue is known as velamen tissue because this tissue provided with spiral thickening, which is thickened by a material which is named as velamen. And this velamen is able to absorb the atmospheric moisture and giving to the plant. Why this? Epiphytes means they grow upon the other plants or the branches. Because soil is not available, the roots are modify themselves to absorb the atmospheric moisture like we found in the orchids. And third type of modifications we found meant for giving mechanical support. Like that of the stilt roots we found in maize. From the basal nodal region of the weak stems, maize plant is very, very weak and lengthier one. But from the basal region, some of the roots that are produced obliquely and giving the mechanical support to the weak stemmed plant. And such a type of roots are known as stilt roots. Even we can observe such a type of stilt roots in the halophytes. The second type of supporting roots we found in the banyan plant, which are also known as the prop roots. Prop means pillar. So the roots that are formed from the branches, and they are looking like pillar-like, and they meant for giving mechanical support. Such a type of roots are known as prop roots. And the fourth category, which are helpful, roots that are helpful in respiration. Like that of in halophytes, like that of Rhizophora and Avicennia, where some of the lateral roots that are growing apogeotopically. Apogeotopically means above the ground, they are able to grow. And these roots that are provided with smaller pores, which are known as lenticels or the pneumatodes, through which they are able to absorb they are able to exhibit the gaseous exchange. And why these comes outside? Because the soils that are not provided with any air, because all the soil particles that are completely covered by the film of water, which is usually present nearer to the seashores. So the halophytes usually found in the nearer to the seashores, which are also considered as mangrove vegetation. So in this vegetation we can observe such a type of modification, which are known as the pneumatophores, provided with lenticels or pneumatodes, through which the gaseous exchange taking place. The next type of function of root modification is for floating purpose or buoyancy. In the case of Gessia, Joshua is the hydrophyte which is floating above the surface of the water, and small portions that are comes outside even, and it is going to produce white colored spongy roots here and there which are completely filled with aerenchyma. And through these aerenchyma, they are the roots that are helpful in buoyancy. Not only that, they are able to helpful in even the gaseous exchange. And next important function of modification of roots are the parasitic roots or hostoria. What is the important function here? What is parasite? The plant that is depending on another plant for food or water or both purpose, then we can consider such a type of plant as the parasite. For grabbing the food or grabbing the water from other plant, it should need some specialized roots which are known as hostoria or parasitic roots that enter into the another plant, and it is going to grab the water or food from the other plant, like that of cuscuta. Cuscuta is the complete stem parasite which is growing surrounding the solanaceous host plants, and it is able to produce several smaller roots inside which are going to contact with both xylem and phloem of host plant, so that it is going to grab the water as well as food. Please think about this. Why this host plant allowing the parasitic root inside? What are the specialized substances that are produced by this parasitic root? Think about this.